We got Dawn Neeson on the papers and Abby Hookway making her debut today. And that debut, Abby, you want to talk about Labour betrays voters with 8 more years of illegal migration. The story's in the Express and a few other papers as well.
Yeah, I just think it's absolutely utter ridiculous. We've just taken away the winter fuel allowance for our elderly, yet we're happy to pay $5 million a day for immigration and illegal immigration. Labour promised they would stop it.
You see, this government will make out we haven't got a pot to drink a bowl of soup out of or anything else.
It's a polite way,
yes, in a polite way. But yet suddenly there's 500 million quid made available to accommodate illegal migrants.
I know, and I just think it's shocking to U-turn on their promise. They promised they'd sort it out. They're in. Now they're not going to.
What do you think, Dawn?
Well, it's Keir Starmer doing a flip-flop. Who'd have thought it? I mean, that never happened. I mean, just shocking, isn't it? I mean, it is ridiculous. We're treating the elderly in this country, as Abby's just pointed out, appallingly. That policy isn't even going to make the money they said they was going to make, like their non-dom policy as well. These aren't even political points. These are common sense points about the money. I mean, Abby, you're a businesswoman. You balance the books all the time. Yeah. These sums don't add up, do they, in any way, shape or form? So they're pointless.
I suppose on this illegal immigration story, you know, what's the alternative? How do you stop it overnight? They've been in 101 days. You know, you have to continue to do something. So we have to find the money. Otherwise, what they're going to be doing, cruising the streets, living the street, robbing people's houses. I mean, realistically, it's easy to say, you know, they said change and they haven't changed. It's been 101 days. So what are they not doing that you want to see them do?
I'd love them to take more swift action. We've got a huge housing crisis. Our NHS can't cope. We're bringing in...
But I think they want to do that too, don't they? I mean, obviously it's costing them a fortune and losing a lot of political capital. It's just not an easily solvable problem. Otherwise, they'd have done it. I think it's very easy for all of us to say, stop the boats, sort it out.
It is smash the gangs, and we have already arrested, I think, that they went a car washing and nail bars.
Show me a country that has sorted the problem.
Italy.
You know? Wow.
Italy have stopped the boats and they have Australia. But Italy recently have stopped the boats leaving by working with the countries they're coming from.
So they pay the countries they're coming from a lot of money.
Yeah, we do that with France. That doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
And Italy are also opening that offshore processing centre for migrants in Albania.
Now, Abby,
we had one of those.
You are a property expert and an entrepreneur, right? Are you worried about this budget in 2 weeks' time?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, like everybody. And I feel like this budget, it's funny because there's a story about investment and people wanting to invest in the UK. I think this budget's going to go either way. If they keep taxing high net worth, we've had 500,000 millionaires leave the UK. More millionaires are leaving every day. What are they taking? They're taking the money that can't be taxed. They're taking jobs. They're taking their businesses. I think this budget's either going to kill the UK or...
So they're not going to be so hard on people looking to come into the country and invest. That's fine. They get some sort of jobs in. But they will hit you hard if you have a job and you're earning.
I think it's just a typical Labour government, isn't it? Let's just tax everybody.
Capital gains tax, pensions. There's going to be all sorts of things that people are worried about here. Interesting one. That may affect a lot of you. A lot of you will say, well, it doesn't affect me, it doesn't affect me, it doesn't affect Isabel. But interesting, if you're looking to, you know, find a way of making your income grow, having a bit on the side, as it were, is that going to put you off? And I would suspect it does, the fear of all of that. And I think the fear, people who have pensions, for instance, and they're wondering about if they draw some money down, will the budget hit the tax on that amount of money you're drawing down?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's just so many consequences to many of these announcements that they're going to make, unforeseen quite often, even by the Chancellor and her team in the Treasury. It often takes a while for these things to be sort of worked out by everybody. But, you know, there's a reason why people are being a little bit uncertain about what's coming in this Halloween budget.
Why is the government obsessed with clawing money back from all of us? I mean, they win with a massive majority, whatever, and they have this huge gain in seats and whatever. So why do they then want to make themselves incredibly unpopular straight away with elderly pensioners taking away the winter fuel allowance, with, you know, going in with taxing national insurance and taxes? The state of this country with taxes is untrue. I mean, what is value-added tax?
I know.
what is my value added? Do I have value added tax on my spectacles, for instance? I don't know. Or if you were to buy tumblers like this, is there value added tax on them? No idea. Why do some things have value added tax and some don't? Capital gains tax, which you've just talked about there. Again,
inheritance tax, or
any opportunity
for you to get on, and got something to pass on, and then they can't. But I suppose the government would say they've picked up at this huge black hole. There are all these unfunded policies that the Conservatives they'll claim no intention of ever paying for. They've now got to be the responsible party and sort that out.
Why?
That's their argument.
Why?
What do you think, borrow more?
Why?
I mean, they are going to borrow more, and they've said they will.
Why?
Changing the rules on that as well.
We've ticked along quite nicely, owing money in the past. Most countries around the world owe money. Why this obsession with doing all the bad things and the hard things first? Are they right? Are they wrong? Your views? Let me know. Is it just me?
No. We're good. Right, OK, we're good to go. Good morning, good to see you. The Guildhall is looking very fine indeed behind you. And you'll be very keen to sing the virtues of investing in this country. But my first question to you has to be, frankly, about national insurance. Would you like to rule out right here on GBNews this morning any intention to increase national insurance for employers?
All of the manifesto commitments we made stand. We will honour our manifesto commitments, and the budget is the week after next. So we have this opportunity because I am standing in a place where £40 trillion of global assets are represented by the companies that own them. That is what we should be focusing on right now. The budget's in a couple of weeks' time. We have this potential before us because this government, Keir Starmer, Rachel Reeves and myself, we see huge potential in our country. This is one of those moments where we can unlock it. We are proud of our country, we are proud of the potential our economy has, and we are working to get deals that will benefit everyone across the entire country. I know your viewers are really keen that this investment doesn't just go into London, which is why we're making sure that all parts of the United Kingdom, everybody from every background, that will benefit from the jobs that could be created if we get this moment in time right. So that's what I'm absolutely focused on, and I think that's what people would expect me to be doing.
Peter, what jobs? What is? We talk about the potential. What way could that potential envisage itself?
Well, let me give you two examples that we've already announced in the run-up to this summit. The first is that the Go Ahead Group have announced that they're investing £500 million in new buses. Those buses are going to be built in the United Kingdom. They're going to be built in Northern Ireland, a place that you and I care very passionately about. So that's one investment where we have done our absolute level best to make sure that all parts of the United Kingdom benefit. The second example is work that I started in opposition. Back in February, I went to Seattle and met the chief executive of Amazon Web Services. I asked what it would take to unleash billions of pounds worth of investment into our economy, into Britain, and we had a fantastic conversation afterwards, and I explained to him what our programme of government would be if we win the election. We've won the election, we've done planning reform, regulatory reform, and we've created the stable conditions for the economy so that people can invest into the long term, and he has announced £8 billion worth of investment into our country. Now, when you build digital infrastructure and data centres, it's great jobs for plumbers, for the construction industry, and yes, those highly skilled jobs that come out of universities for data engineers and all of those highly skilled jobs of the future that are being created for people who are leaving university. And we are making sure that that investment goes into parts of the country where often industries have left those areas. We want to make sure we can incentivise those industries, these new industries, to go to those areas so that people don't have to leave the areas to find work if you have these skills of the future, for example. So these are the things we're really delivering already, and I'm hoping you'll see a lot more of it come out of today.
Yes, but you'll forgive me for nitpicking because people are listening very carefully to what you have to say here, and you have insisted that all of your manifesto pledges will be honoured. So are you seriously trying to tell me that when you insisted before the election that there would be no increase to national insurance, you did not mean at that point in relation to employers, you only meant employees? Because a lot of people will be listening to this thinking, hang on a minute, if you're a small business owner, you're an employee and an employer, and a lot of people will say it also directly affects employees if their employer is therefore being taxed more because of them. It's a very difficult thing to separate, either increasing national insurance or you're not. So which is it?
Our manifesto promised there'll be no new taxes on working people, and there won't.
Okay, well, the chief executive of Lloyds Bank has said this morning that national insurance would be, and I quote, one of the worst taxes to increase because it would be a handbrake on investment. This is what you're trying to tell us you want this morning. And a hammer to business, making it more expensive to hire staff. So is that what the Labour government's trying to do?
The Labour government pledged there'll be no new taxes on working people, and there won't.
So you're dismissing the comments of the chief executive of Lloyds Bank as you stand there in the City of London at an international investment summit?
Today, 12 businesses, including JP Morgan and Aviva, the world's largest insurance company, wrote to the Times to say that Britain is now a place that they want to invest in. They read the conjecture, they probably listen to GBNews, and they hear the rumours that you're putting forward about something that hasn't happened. And yet they still choose this country to come to explore global investment on a historic scale. 40 trillion pounds worth of global assets are right here, most of it standing behind me where I speak. The Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, myself, we are here engaging with them, doing deals, showing we're open for business, and when they invest in our country, making everyone from every background in every part of the United Kingdom benefits from it. That is what people expect of this Labour government. That's what they'll get, and none of these businesses behind are put off by the rumours that are swirling around at the moment. They know that we are introducing legislation to increase the rights people have in the workplace. They know that we are also returning to a stable economy, planning for the long term, creating the conditions where we can once again return to the international stage with pride and sell what Britain has to offer companies from around the world if they come and invest in our country.
Meanwhile, Peter, your stage today is very different, very, very different. Now, from what I can see, that is the cathedral that you're in, is that right?
No, I'm standing in a central London location that's not the cathedral. I'm sure you'll understand me not going into too much specifics, Eamonn, but yeah.
Yeah, well, everybody will know shortly anyway, but...
it's a historic building.
It's an historic building, yeah. It's very church-like, I have to say. But it's very interesting, but that is important, where you are and the image that you're creating, and the image of Great Britain. That is there. I'm sure if I was visiting that today from a different country, I'd be very, very impressed. Which brings me to what's going on in Downing Street at the moment as regards artwork with portraits of Queen Elizabeth, and who else is Queen Elizabeth I?
Sir Walter Raleigh.
Sir Walter Raleigh are being taken off the wall and replaced by the work of a Portuguese feminist artist. A lot of people today just a bit mystified as to why that is, and why Downing Street wouldn't be there portraying and selling other images of British feminists or people important in Britain who need to be lauded.
Yes, I am standing in an historic building because this is an historic moment and a historic opportunity for our country, and that's what we're trying to grapple with. You know, I was in number 10 just last week. The art on the walls provokes conversation about what is great about Britain, and I'm sure that all of the pieces of art that you've just mentioned will provoke similar conversations about why Britain is such a great place to invest, to do business, to come and live and work and have a great life, to explore your potential. These are all the sorts of things that every administration adapts to try and reflect the moment that they are living in, and nothing is new with that at the moment.
Lots of people will be watching with interest to see how this investment summit goes, and lots of questions over whether or not a socialist government, a government that is very much in hoc with the unions, will be able to also be a party of the business. Now, many people are saying that Louise Hay is evidence that this is not possible. She is, of course, your Transport Secretary. She very nearly completely ruined painstaking efforts to ensure that £1 billion of investment was brought into the United Kingdom because she is so closely affiliated with the unions. Should she be sacked for it?
Well, you say, yes, painstaking efforts being made. We made those painstaking efforts, and we have done, which is why you see this hall full of global businesses coming here to see whether we are the country that is worth investing in, and they are. So we have moved forward on that issue. The global parent company DP World, 4P&O, they're here. The investment programme is unfolding. We should celebrate the fact that we have such global investment that is here, that is already underway. That is one investment programme that we can already talk about, and it's into our critical infrastructure going forward. And I'm really pleased. We are focused on those big issues. So because we've got the fundamentals right, where we do come across challenges, and every government will have challenges, we have never been knocked off track, and that's what this issue shows us.
Secretary of State, thank you very much for your time. Have a good day today. Appreciate you talking to us. Thank you very much.